Welcome back to Americade 2024, guys. We are at the Harley demo tent today, and we are currently out on the new 2024 Harley Street Glide. Fully redesigned for 2024. We have a new engine, new front design, new lines to the bike, a new line of accessories, and just a complete overhaul of the Harley Street Glide. We're going to break down all the new features in this video. I'm going to do a walk around to the bike, and we're going to talk about what makes this bike so awesome and why you would want to buy it. Let's get to it. So we're going to start this review off with comfort. If a bike's not comfortable, you won't want to ride it. Harleys are known for a nice, smooth, comfortable ride. At least the more modern touring bikes are. And this bike is no exception. We've got a wonderful pullback to the handlebars. Everything internally wired to keep it nice and clean up front. Streamlined, very clean digital area. Bike looks great in the handlebar area. As far as the floorboards and riding position are concerned, you have a 90-degree riding position, sitting very upright, feet squarely on the floorboards. The floorboards are not quite as big as they were on the Indians that I test rode yesterday, so the outside edges of my feet tend to hang a little bit off of these floorboards. It's not like my feet are falling off by any means, but they're just not quite as big, so my feet are a little bit over the edge. As far as the seat goes, stock Harley seat on here, very cushy, very comfortable. I'm always a little weary of cushy seats because over a long day of riding, that cushion tends to compress and doesn't give you much support. But for short rides, and particularly for this test ride, that's all I can judge it on. It's very soft, it's very comfortable. It feels like I'm sitting down into it, kind of like a little bit of a bucket seat. It's very nice. So for comfort, we're going to go ahead and give this bike a solid 9 out of 10. It's very nice, it's very comfortable. Now that we're on the highway, let's talk about power. We're currently in road mode. There's 3 modes. You have rain, road, and then there's sport. We're going to change it into sport mode here. Roll off the throttle and re-engage, and we should now be in sport mode. We are. Obviously, there's a limiter installed on these demo bikes, which I can understand. But we are going to talk about that engine here because now we have a new Milwaukee 8 117 engine. When they came out with the 114 engine, then Indian came out with a 116. So then Harley's had to now go back and, you know, do the 117. It's just tit for tat with those two, back and forth, and you can understand why. They're the big competitors to each other. We're going to pull over here and show you guys a walk around the bike, and I will also finish discussing that brand new engine. So, there she is, the new 2024 Harley Street Glide with the Milwaukee 8 117 engine. So, what Harley has done this year is they have put liquid-cooled heads on their engine. It's not a true liquid-cooled engine. The whole thing is not liquid-cooled, just the heads. And it does go down into the exhaust, what they told me back at the demo tent. But it's not a true liquid-cooled engine like the Indian Challenger with the Power Plus, where it's fully liquid-cooled. Just the heads and the exhaust from what they told me at the demo. But when you're on Harley's website, they just talk about the liquid cooling in the cylinder heads. Those liquid-cooled cylinder heads give you good horsepower and torque. I'll put those specs on the screen for you guys. And let's do the walk around and talk about the redesign. So, the new redesign in the front still have the Batwing fairing. Windshield has been redesigned, airflow's been redesigned, and the lights have been redesigned. Let's turn this puppy back on, show you guys the lights. There you go. LED lights in the front. Looks very cool. We have a low mustache bar in the front as well. High performance air cooler for the 117 Milwaukee 8. Set up from factory for passengers. Got pegs. Nice, good seat. There is a slot here for a rider backrest, obviously offered as an accessory from Harley. We have nice LED lights in the back. with good closeouts here. The closeouts make it look nice and clean between the frame of the fender and the saddlebags. If we go over here, open up our saddlebags, got good storage in here, nice long and deep saddlebags. This is my favorite color for a motorcycle in the world. My bikes are blacked out, but if I could get this orange metallic flake, that's what I love in a bike. It's like what I had on my Ninja. It looks so good. It's so nice. We got dual floating disc brakes up front, adjustable suspension. Overall, that's pretty much it to the bike. It's a very comfortable ride. They've done a little bit of work on the suspension on the new Street Glides, Road Glides, and they've also reduced the weight. So increase in power, reduction of weight, and let's talk about the overall frame of the bike. If you're considering upgrading to this Street Glide, maybe you already own one and you want to bring your accessories with you, they will not fit. That's one thing they did, because they've messed with the frame here. It's technically the same frame, but they changed up front where the handlebar attachment is, the line of the bike, and in the rear. So your seat won't fit, your handlebars won't fit. It's going to have to be different for the 2024 Street Glide and Road Glide. They changed it just enough that accessories won't move up. Moving forward from 2024 onward, they'll be fine. But that's something to consider if maybe you were thinking of upgrading your 2023 now with some accessories and then later moving them to a new bike. Not going to work. Just something for you guys to note. You are not going to take off on this thing in a hurry if you're trying to make a quick getaway. What I mean by that is when you turn it on, it will fire up and start and you could take off. But the screen takes a minute to come on. So, the screen's loaded up. Hopefully you guys can see that. We're actually going to turn on the high contrast portion of the display, which will make it a little easier to see. There's different customizable options for this display. It's 12.3 inches. It's almost the size of an iPad, like a small iPad here, or even the large iPad, I guess. It's huge, but what Harley's done is they've cleaned this up and got rid of all of the analog gauges that you used to have, and it's just all digital now. So if we go to settings, gonna go display, and we're gonna go to high contrast. Just for daytime readability, you can switch the contrast of the display. So we have a couple different screens here. If we have our phone paired up, obviously you can do phone with pairing and Apple CarPlay. We have favorites for stations and phone numbers. We have music, so we can turn that on. Let's turn the volume up a little. Plenty loud. I can't play too much music in the video for copyright reasons, but plenty loud going down the highway. Good speaker system installed. Definitely an upgrade for Harley. Their audio has not always been the best. It's getting better. Not quite on par with Indian's power band audio yet, but it's getting there. It's getting very close. Indian better watch out. This model does not have the navigation installed. You would have to see a dealer to upgrade that. So apparently the navigational module is an upgrade. Something to note. Now, if you have Apple CarPlay, it will link up, and then you would have navigation through that. So that wouldn't be a problem if you have that installed. Now, we have different screens that are customizable here. So I'm currently on the Touring screen, which puts your basic info over here on the left, and then this entire area, if it was installed, would be like the CarPlay or the navigation. If we go to display and layout, you can see Tour, Sport. We'll tap on Sport. Sport would put all your gauges right here in the middle for you, and the focus is more on tack than speedometer, and then you have other riding info over here. And then if we change it to Cruise, a bit more of a standard layout with digital speedo, digital tack separated. We're actually going to go back and put it in Sport. I kind of like that view. We'll hit back and lock that into place. Now, there are 5 ride modes for this motorcycle. You got Rain, Road, and Sport. You also have traction control and ABS. Traction control level varies based on the mode you're in. You also have 2 customizable riding modes to round out that 5. So you can change the level of the power band that's accessed as well as how much traction control input there is. So you can fine tune that to your liking. Alright, now that we're in the twisties, we're going to talk about handling. The Street Glide is a fork mounted fairing compared with the Road Glide, which is frame mounted. Personally, I prefer the road glide versus the street, but that's just my personal preference. I think it handles a little bit better. It's also a little bigger. Now, the street glide is no slouch. It is very nimble, and with the weight reduction, the handling has improved a little bit. So let's talk about lane positioning. If I'm going from center position to left and like coming back, then maybe you have to dodge a pothole, for example. Dodge over to left position, back over to center, back over to left. It's nimble, it's quick, it's not the best out there, but it's pretty darn good. For a Harley, it's impressive. They've done a lot of work to improve the handling. I would say overall, I would give the handling on this a solid 8 out of 10. Not the best. I would say the Indian Challenger beats it just a bit, but that's more aimed at the road glide. So this is on par with the Indian Chieftain. That would be its direct competitor if you're thinking about those two in the American cruiser market. The handling does feel very nice on this, leaning it over in the curves. I'll put the exact lean angles on the screen for you guys, but a combination of just the newer engine with more power to pull you through those turns, the sport mode, the lighter weight, it all lends itself to a very nice handling bike. It's a very, very good handling machine. Let's talk about style. You guys saw what this bike looked like in the walk around and in some of those body shots I did. What do you guys think of the new redesign? It's still very clearly a street glide. They didn't redesign it that much. You still know what it is. But most of the work was in that batwing fairing up front and putting in these streamlined LEDs. I think it looks very clean, very sexy. It looks very, very good. It was a well thought out design. I like the new approach to having the LED turn signals mounted up in the fairing instead of being down on the fork. Ooh, what do we got here? Oh, I know what that was. They said there was a rider down out on the route, and it looks like they're cleaning some gravel and dirt off the road. So somebody must have hit that dirt going through the turn and slid out. Hope they're okay. So the styling, I think it's very good. The nice clean lines, and I love the paint job. The paint job of this metallic flake orange, it looks so great. Cleaned up cockpit, shall we say. You know, everything here has been nicely cleaned up with internal wiring. It just looks clean and streamlined, which is a little odd for a Harley. This is super duper cool. I forgot to show you guys this earlier. You have a whole tray here. It like, you push this button and the whole thing comes out to you. And you've got your charging port in there for charging up your cell phone. That is super cool. It's a lot more storage than what you get on the Indians up top with just the little slot, or what you used to get, you know, just like little pockets on the side. So having that come out to you, you can have your wallet and your phone in there. It's big, it's deep enough for a wallet. It's a really cool feature to have. So as part of reducing space up front with all those analog gauges and just putting in the digital screen, they also freed up room to be able to put in that feature. Super duper cool. So power, great. Comfort, great. Handling, great. Style, I think it's an improvement. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I would love to hear from you guys, especially if you're a Street Glide owner and you're considering upgrading to this. Like I mentioned, your accessories will not all be able to come up with you to this new model because of some of the redesign things they did with the frame up front and the fairing, as well as the seat attachment points. So that's something to consider. They let me know that at the demo tent, so I could tell you guys that and make sure you were informed. GoPro, stop recording. So if you guys have any questions for me, let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear from you guys. Any questions or comments you have. I own a Harley, I own an Indian, so if I can help you guys in any way, let me know. If you guys have enjoyed this video or found it useful, please hit that thumbs up button. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel if you feel I've earned it. I really appreciate all my subscribers. Click the bell icon next to it. That will give you guys notifications when there are new videos to watch right here on Motoblade. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, y'all know what to do. Be careful out there. Ride safe. Ride on. I'll catch you on the next video. From Americade 2024. Deuces.